If you've been keeping up at all with the program, you know we are big fans of the head carpenter Kubota-san. He has been the driving force behind our house, both in his ability to interpret our off-the-wall requests and his ability to execute them effortlessly. He's the kind of craftsman that makes me wish I were a craftsman too. So, you might be as surprised as we were when we heard the news that Kubota-san was leaving. This time, it's not clickbait. Kubota-san announced in his matter-of-fact way that he was finished with this project and would be moving on to the next one the next morning. The announcement caught us off guard, to say the least, and we just walked around the house for a little while like rudderless ships. The reason for his departure is as impressive as the work itself. Our builder, Shimokawa-san, was met with a nearly insurmountable challenge. In the dead of winter, he was asked to start building a house. The requester had their hearts set on being settled in by the first day of school, April 1st. So, if you do the math, you'll quickly realize that they would have to go from foundation to moving van in 2 months. 2 months! With snow piled up to our waists and sub-zero Celsius temperatures, we could scarcely imagine how it would even be possible to put up a frame. But that wasn't for us to decide. No ordinary builder would accept such a challenge, I'm certain. But Shimokawa-san and his team keep proving to us that they are not ordinary, and so, on that Saturday morning, praying for the snow to stop long enough to finish the job, Shimokawa-san and his team framed another house. Well, their gain was our loss, but Kubota-san had really done pretty much everything he planned to do in the house, and as for the finishing touches, Kubo-san came in to lend a hand. Their work styles were completely different. Kubota-san runs a tight ship and he likes to keep things tidy, whereas Kubo-san is a bit more relaxed and casual. But despite these differences, they work well as a tag team and they understand each other very well. So Kubo-san seamlessly picked up where Kubota-san left off, and we noticed no difference in flexibility, quality of work, or putting up with our constant butting in. And we kept him challenged. Before we get on to our new challenges, I wanted to stop and have a look at what Kubota-san achieved in his tenure at our house. You may recall the initial challenges we dealt him, asking first to keep the beams visible, then add beams, then arrange the roof panels opposite the beams. All of these requests were achieved along with the window enlargement that we have since been so happy we did. But even after those requests, we have asked Kubota-san to add floors and remove floors, add holes, remove holes, and even add built-ins that were not in the original plan. The built-in niches look great, but the bench we asked for is really perfect. We were looking for something traditional at the door. You've seen them many times, I'm sure. Basically a place to sit down, take off your shoes, hang your hat and coat, and go inside. They're known as hall trees or foyer or entryway benches, but we just call it the bench. We thought it might be charming to simply build one in, so we came to Kubota-san with some pictures and my bad drawings. Kubota-san nodded, and within a couple of days, the work had begun. Cleverly, he hid the circuit breaker box inside the cabinet at the top of the bench, leaving plenty of space for coats and shoes. But he even made the shoe compartment convertible for shorter shoes in summer or tall boots in winter. Clever thinking for the region, and certainly nothing we'd have ever thought of. We also asked for a tokunoma. If you've never heard of this before, you may recognize it as the special corner of a traditional Japanese house where art such as painted scrolls and pottery are displayed. We wanted one, but we weren't looking for traditional. We were looking for something simple and tasteful but comfortably at home in our culturally hybrid house. So, he created a floating shelf of excellent wood and framed it with wood panels at the ends. Very simple and tasteful, and this one was completely his design. There were many more personal touches that Kubota-san added to our house, but now with Kubo-san running the ship, we still have adjustments to make. First, we noticed that the location of the wall lighting looked a bit off balance at times, especially in the bedroom with the new tokonoma. So together we worked on finding new positions that would take into account air vents, electrical, and locations of air conditioning units, etc. He responded instantly and suffered throughout our clumsy decision making. We noticed a few other light adjustments we needed to make as well, but perhaps the hardest one was the position of the balcony light, a good 15 feet above our heads. The hole for the recessed light was simply not centered, and we had no choice but to have it redone. The next day, when we showed up on site, the light had changed. Granted, the work was pretty far up there, but I can't see any evidence that another position was ever drilled in that roof. I think Kubo-san did a fantastic job of hiding that. Kubo-san has filled in for these final days of carpentry, but the carpenter's role in the build is coming to a close. And next we have the wallpaper, the tile, the lights, and the plumbing to come. We still have some things on back order too. The toilet has arrived, but the hot water heater is still questionable. We'll find out about that soon enough, and at long last, a decision on our heating system. We're really moving forward quickly now, and we only have a few weeks left before our target move-in date. So here we go, steamrolling through to the end of this process.